We are live. This is the market update. Did you miss the rally in crypto? Don't worry, we can help. We're going to get you on board. You don't know how to get on board or where to get on board? Well, the good news is we do, and we're ready to help. So if you're interested in that, don't go anywhere. If you need a roadmap in crypto, subscribe to this channel. Turn on alerts so you know when we're going live, and if the content works for you, hit the like button. All right, I'm going to be your host tonight. I'm Bill Noble, and we're going to welcome who's here on the stream. We've got Ashton. We've got Whack. Let's go. All right. Raj promoting me to king. I appreciate that. Right. We have Reverend Flashback is here. Greetings from Belgium and Spain. Welcome. Up late at night in Europe. Don Jackson is here. Muhammad, Lawn Shark, Joan of America. How do? Caleb was like, I was worried I was going to go one day without the market update. Good to see you. Caleb, we appreciate that. And we know that you got to have it. We got to have the market update. So we're bringing it to you from a secret location, from the Blu Arctic Strategic Water Reserve. What's that? Shh. Stay tuned to this channel. It's where commodities meets the blockchain. Ann is here. Rave Song Records. What's up? Right? Crypto 007, say no more. Likes it when we come on, and we appreciate you being here. Ahmed is telling you to subscribe and hit the button. Metabytes in the house. The Fuzz Crypto. Going to be a good night. Welcome, Joan of America. Go BARC. What's BARC? That is the water pricing token that changes the world and gives you a shot at investing in water infrastructure, the future of the planet. Top Semper Fidelis, Richard Barry from Augusta, Georgia. Robert Wiley got some BARC today. Excellent. Excellent. Let's jump into the news. Top former government officials arrested over ties to an enemy of the United States. Also, some people getting convicted for what happened in January a while back. A reminder, these things are depressing. And one thing we've decided at Gold Retriever as a company where I work is that we're going to talk to people about things that are uplifting. We're going to talk about crypto. We're going to talk about gold. We're going to talk about water. And we're going to talk about this market in an intellectually honest and positive way. So don't get caught up in this. Now, on that note, Bank of America thinks central bank digital currencies could revolutionize the global financial system. I got a better idea. How about we take that research report and rip it up and try another idea? Namely, that crypto makes people free. It gives you control over your money. It allows commodities and other Web3 based technologies to trade in an open, free market. Yeah, it's volatile. So what? So what? You're free. You can buy and sell as you will, and your money is your money. Your internet is your internet. People are just too bearish. And now they're afraid to get bullish. Well, don't worry. I'm going to fix that. I'm going to give you some video courage courtesy of the market update. Now, this is unbelievable. Cathie Wood, an investor in, highly speculative technology stocks, the altcoins of the equity markets. Cathie got wrecked last year, safe to say, like a lot of other people. She was a big buyer of GBTC, which is basically Bitcoin in the equity market. There are a lot of risks with GBTC. Their parent company may be in trouble, but they do hold 600,000 Bitcoin. So if you want to get your hands on 600,000 Bitcoin, you, as like BlackRock, might be inclined to buy Grayscale, which may be what Cathie Wood was thinking when she was buying it last year. Instead, she decided to sell out of GBTC. So as Bitcoin is bottoming and never going below 20 again, right, and winter is over, Cathie Wood dumps Bitcoin through equities and then buys Coinbase. So good for her for knowing that Coinbase was a bottom because people were apocalyptically bearish, including the people who run Coinbase, which is, again, another massively bullish indicator. But isn't it funny that even the people who are bullish on crypto decided to take tax losses and sell crypto? She dumped GBTC. Could there be a problem with GBTC's parent companies? Yes, there could be. But why would you dump Bitcoin if you're bullish crypto? Why? Right? The fear of last year is still with us, even for the people who are bullish, which is why I'm trying to change everyone's mind by basically pounding the table, coming up with ideas for you on how to get involved, when to get involved, what to get involved in, which includes big caps and small caps. Okay. Uniswap poll shows 80% support decentralized crypto exchanges move over to Binance. Hey, remember Binance? That CZ? Yeah, they were getting put out of business and they were the next FTX last year. Remember that? It's almost like something you would hear on the Comedy Channel. It's like, hey, remember when it was the end of crypto and it wasn't? Now, Uniswap wants to go over to the Binance universe. And people in the decentralized, aka free market, are like, you know what? Maybe Binance is not so bad. How about that? Right? Could you have imagined, with all the FUD about Binance in December of 2022, be talking a month later about Uniswap migrating over to Binance chain to trade over there? No one's talking about this. Everybody talked about the end of CZ. Why? Because they're addicted to the FUD. And again, as I was talking about before, people are addicted to negative political news, and even the people who were bearish, who are bullish crypto, are selling Bitcoin. They're selling Bitcoin. So what does that mean exactly? Like if you add it all up, well, I'll tell you. If you add it all up, people are too bearish and the market can go much higher in the short term. But you're like, Bill, I thought FOMO was bad. FOMO is bad when everybody is, actually, let's start this, do it this way. FOMO is bad when it's easy to FOMO. It's hard to buy strength because bear markets don't let you out and bull markets don't let you in. So if you think of it that way and keep the FOMO idea out, what you should be searching for is trade location. And that's what this market update is going to be about. How do you locate trades? How do you find out support for investing, support and resistance, and trading? So you can say, all right, if I jumped in now, am I buying the top? Or am I jumping in at support? The top is much higher. And then any potential retracement, I might be able to like weather the storm. Are we at that point now? Let's find out. Just a brief commercial break where I tell you that Ethereum, right? Ethereum, winter is over. This chart shows that between 2016 and 2018, right, there was a cycle based on Fibonacci math, resulting in a 65-week winter. We had another 65-week winter between November of last year and the recent bottom. So I found two winters, and I found another Fibonacci signal that says winter is over and the next cycle has actually started. Now, note, that doesn't mean the parabolic part of the cycle has started, but the next cycle has started. And people still don't get this. Because if Cathie Wood got it, she wouldn't be selling GBTC. And if retail investors understood it, they wouldn't be afraid to start buying. Now, it's okay to feel bad that you missed out, right? We went capitulation, anger, depression on the way down. And now we're in the disbelief phase, as one of my good friends in crypto would know. I'm trying to keep you out of disbelief. Ethereum, big picture, is probably headed back towards 3,500. That's where the whole 2022 calamity started from. So if you want to know about the previous Elliott wave work from the previous fourth wave, feel free to check out other streams. Bottom line, Ethereum can go to 3,500. Now let's look at the tactical view of Ethereum. In the tactical view, we look at, can ETH go up? Or if I buy the top at 1626, is it going to wind up going to 1500? And am I going to get stopped out? Where is support? Where is resistance? Let's go over it. So this uses hidden pivot analysis. I draw a point here, I click a point here, and then I connect it to a point where a bottom occurred. And then this system projects up and draws hidden support and resistance levels. That's why it's called the hidden pivot method. So if you might look at a chart and be like, wow, this went up a lot, I don't think I want to buy the top because it's not, there's no way to figure out where support is. Well, that's not true. There's support in ETH at 1626. The next level could be 1700. And I think the end destination is 1900. In fact, I think this spike to 1900 is going to be really sharp, right? Now, ETH may have to sit here, but ETH just sitting here is kind of like torture, right? Like shorts are nervous and longs are like, I'm too scared to get in. So when the shorts capitulate and the longs feel brave, this thing just goes up again. It's just human nature. And the hidden pivot analysis is telling you there's support in Ethereum at 1626. So said differently, if ETH can't get below 1626, it's going to 1900. Bitcoin. And you're like, wow, Bitcoin went straight up. And I'm going to ask you this question. Bitcoin at 23K. Cheap? Expensive? I remember when Bitcoin was at 50K. I remember when Bitcoin was at 40K. If you went to somebody back then and said, you can get Bitcoin at 23K, they'd be like, oh my God, I do that in a minute. And then if you told them at Bitcoin Miami a long time ago, do you know there's going to come a day where Bitcoin's going to go back to 20? It's going to go below 20K, the old 2017 high. Then it's going to go to 23K, and everybody's going to be like, oh, well, I can't buy it up there. It's too high. Too high? What are you talking about? It's within 10% of the biggest technical support point in the history of crypto, which is 20K, the 2017 high. So we're about this far away from support and this far away from resistance. And you can't buy it at 23K? Or people are like, don't FOMO? It's not a question of FOMO. It's about whether or not the asset that you want to buy is priced correctly. Bitcoin is not priced correctly, meaning the actual level that Bitcoin should be trading at is probably something like 29K, which is why Bitcoin sits here at 23K and doesn't move, because you're just waiting for the next level of sellers to capitulate and the next level of institutional and probably retail buyers to start piling in. Because if you don't own Bitcoin, it's probably making you nervous. Like your nerves got wrecked on their way down because, you didn't know when to get out. Now you're trying to get in if you have capital and can't figure that out. You'd love to have a dip, but that's exactly the point. You'd love to have a dip. You're not getting one. That's the message. Hidden pivot work shows there's actually support at like just underneath 23K. Isn't it interesting how Bitcoin just seems to sit there? So could you get a downdraft to this line at 21.6? Sure. That would be Christmas. More likely, it just sits here. There might be one little dip below 23, and then it goes to 25. Because it's not trading at the correct value. Bitcoin doesn't reflect freedom. It doesn't. People are still in fear mode. Crypto, Web3, commodities on the blockchain, freedom. Freedom is what's important. GBTC, Cathie Wood getting out, I understand it. It's probably a tax loss selling, Not trying to give her a hard time. She had a hard enough time last year, but I think GBTC is going to 33. So it trades at, 12 and change. Okay. It's going to 33, in my opinion. It's going to unwind all the negative stuff from the second half of last year. It's undervalued. GBTC and Grayscale hold 600,000 Bitcoin. So if somebody in here doesn't go out of business, the only way to get 600,000 Bitcoin is to buy Grayscale and get the Bitcoin owned by GBTC, period. So I don't know why everybody is all bearish on Bitcoin. As a matter of fact, a positive GBTC event could actually act as propellant for crypto. Solana, nobody wanted it at 9. Nobody. Everybody was like doing videos on how Solana was dead and getting traction. Ridiculous. I said Solana could go to 45, got laughed off the air. Now Solana is like a bird on a wire getting ready to fly, sitting here at 24, right? So Solana is actually sitting on support. It's an old high and a hidden pivot analysis point. So there's 2 reasons to think that 24-ish is good support in Solana. So if Solana doesn't go below 24, guess what? It's going to wind up at the hidden pivot target at 35. Now let's talk about Solana at 35. Solana at 24 is well supported. Solana at 35 will probably be overdone. So theoretically, if you got in or anyone gets in, not investment advice, now you may be able to weather any storm if it spikes up to 35 and then comes off. One thing I've been saying about crypto all year is that if you can get in at a good point, you may be able to ride out any storm. Now, realistically, we're probably going to have one massive move higher in altcoins, and then there's going to be volatility and correction. But if you want to get in and you want to do a trading play, or you want to jump in and see if the market lets you stay in longer term, no better example than Solana, right? It's a stair step. Up the stairs, hang out. 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 Trends last longer than you think. Polkadot. Polkadot currently consolidating below $6.86. Don't fade Polkadot. Everyone's doing Cosmos. I get it. Cosmos is operational. I get it. Don't underestimate what Polkadot can do. Polkadot never should have traded below 7 to begin with. This whole rally, this whole decline from November of last year where it went below 7 and crashed is going to get unwound, in my opinion. Polkadot can get all the way up to 7.8, right? I don't see Polkadot doing material retracements. Everybody loved Web3. Like I live in an oxymoron universe. I spent early 2022 and part of 2021 screaming about Web3. I spent 2021 screaming about Web3, and the media, the legacy media who we were pitching on this, wanted nothing to do with us. Then everyone embraced Web3 naturally. So they dressed up as a bunny NFT. Naturally, that was the top. The market went down. And now we're back to no one wants to talk about Web3 again. Play it again, Sam. Rally it again. Cardano and XRP. You bring up Cardano and XRP, you get lots of attention on YouTube, right? Well, maybe people who are into Cardano and XRP are sick of YouTubers trying to cater to them with positive news or Kool-Aid. I brought up XRP on my Twitter and lost 12 followers. That's when I knew XRP was going up, and Cardano is most likely going to go with it, right? Cardano, if it takes out 40 cents, it's going to go to 45. And the fact that Cardano is consolidating just underneath resistance, I've seen this in bull markets where things will go to resistance, but it won't pull back. Now, as people sell, but it doesn't go down. And what that means is when you have something like Cardano that's got a fan base, right? If hedge funds start piling into Cardano, people who puked it out last year They may jump in, but at what price, right? You want to be in before the hedge funds and before the retail people go, oh my God, I'm panicking and I have to get in. Now I think we can just get in calmly, okay? We can just calmly get in. Think about it, right? In other words, is it scary to buy it when it's up? Maybe. Let's say yes. Let's say it is scary to buy it when it's up. But sometimes the best trades are the toughest trades, right? In 2017, when Bitcoin went from 3K to 10K, you were like, this can't go any higher. I can't buy it. And then it went to 20K. Then everyone bought it. Then it went to 3K. We are not at the 20K-ish point yet. We're like early days. So in Cardano, the Cardano bulls, who are probably tired of hearing that Cardano can go up, guess what? Cardano can go up, and it's not backing off. Avalanche, oh my God. This was a one-coin market once upon a time, and it can happen again. I'm looking at this hidden pivot analysis, and I saw this thing perched on 1745, like $23. They got a partnership with Amazon. The headline news is that Jeff Bezos is dumping the Washington Post to buy a football team. Well, that's because Web 2 and the media have got problems. Like Web 2 is being torpedoed by Twitter. Web 2 is dying. Web 2 is Lord of the Flies, where like they're all trying to eat each other to survive. Like Microsoft with ChatGPT against Google, etc. Not an investable theme anymore. What is an investable theme? Web3, using crypto to trade gold and water and other commodities. Like, how about a real use case for blockchain? How about the next generation of the internet for a tenth of the price at what it was trading at? Avalanche was at 150 and everyone loved it. Now it's at 17 and no one will touch it. It's going to 23. Fantom. Now, this is a classic example of what happens when you underestimate altcoins, particularly big cap altcoins that can have use cases. So Fantom was hot. Then it went to 0 and disappeared. It went to 2 cents. Now it's come all the way back. And guess what? It's above support at 37 cents, and it's probably going to lead the move and be the first one to get to its technical target at 45 cents. So if Fantom is doing it, Avalanche can do it, Ethereum can do it, Bitcoin can do it, etc., etc., etc. Now, XRP, oh my God, right? Talking the last 2 streams, check it out, where I'm like, hey, this is going up. I did a short video called The Dark Side of XRP, which was about people giving up on XRP. Why are you giving up? It's just starting to break out. It's just starting to break out. So it goes up 5%. It takes out 41 cents. It takes out 42 cents. And that'll show any resistance until 47. And actually, I think you can go higher than that. Once upon a time, the government considered XRP the bad guys. Well, FTX has changed all that. They have a whole new group of bad guys to deal with. XRP is a measure of freedom. They're a payment system. You can have the dollar system, SWIFT. You can have XRP. You can have QNT. That's fine. They're private sector solutions. It's innovation. It's hope. It's not depression, right? If there's a problem with the dollar, okay, how about an alternative? If you don't like vanilla anymore, how about we add chocolate and strawberry? Now, what do you want? You want chocolate and strawberry? Or do you want something made by the Chinese or the Russians? Which is better? How about positioning XRP and QNT not as an alternative to the dollar, but as an alternative to something dark? We don't want that, right? In other words, one of the reasons why you would buy gold is so that you can diversify against any problem that occurs, say, in Japan. That's where, the token from my company, GLDN, comes in. You can have a token and have a small cap token and use it to get rewards in packs. And then you can take that gold token, GLDN, and use it to buy water and invest in water infrastructure. We're doing hope, not hopium, not nonsense. We're doing crypto. We're doing freedom. We're doing XRP. XRP is freedom. Sandbox, the metaverse, speaking of freedom. Everyone seems to be blowing this off. Like everybody blew off Web3. People assumed the metaverse and NFTs were dead. Meanwhile, Sandbox is up only. Metaverse, up only. What stops this trade? Think of it this way. At one hand, you're like, I'm too scared to get in. I'm too messed up from last year. Okay, let's try it differently. What stops the uptrade in crypto? A geopolitical event, interest rate hikes with all these layoffs? The Fed can have fun with that. What stops the uptrade in crypto? You give me a good answer. You give yourself a good answer. You can talk yourself out of it. Okay. It is your book. It is your P&L. I get that. I'm an analyst. I'm not managing your P&L. You are. But as an analyst who tries to help traders, or as an analyst who's been helping traders for 30 years, you look at the trader and you say, the trend is your friend, and what stops this trend? Well, something can always stop a trend, but is it likely? Or is it likely that this trend continues and continues and continues? Like what happens if Bitcoin stalls out in February near 30K and altcoins rip the whole year? One thing nobody has even talked about, I don't think, is about altcoins going up nonstop until September 1st. Like how crazy is that? Like if there's a pause or a correction, it may be in Bitcoin once it reprices itself. But these altcoins are so destroyed and everybody is underinvested in Web 3 and overinvested in Web 2. What happens if this stuff just goes up all year? Not straight up like crazy, but it's like up, sideways, I'm too scared to get in, up, sideways, I'm too scared to get in. How long can we do that? I don't know. Go back and look at a long-term chart of the stock market. They did it for 10 years. Kusama, interoperability, operational. Look how it's sitting on a hidden pivot point at 35.62. How about Kusama at 47? Or why don't we just make it 50 to round it out? Again, what stops this? And that is the market update. All right, let's see what we got going on in the comments. Let's see who's here. Chanel wants Noble Financial. Love it. Okay. Steve Mesa is here. He made it. Welcome. Okay. Robert Wiley is here talking about Chainlink. Okay. What's going on with Polkadot? What are the targets? Honestly, if I had to give you an answer, I would say 8. Okay. Jacob is asking, how about my box of chocolates, Zcash? Okay. Zcash is still the box of chocolates. It's still the guilty pleasure because I do not see how the world can have how the next cycle does not have a privacy solution. Okay. When you have Zcash, this is what you got technically. So I got to share the screen. Okay. So let's try Zcash on a 4-hour chart to see what we can get from hidden pivot analysis. Okay. And I actually think you can start talking about Litecoin too. There's a reason why these coins survived the bear market. I think if Zcash is above 47.50, it can go to 53. I am not opposed to getting long Zcash. Now, I thought Zcash was going to be able to scale massively, but that doesn't mean it can't eventually. It just has to scale. Some of the things that go on in the world have not convinced you that crypto equals freedom, and part of freedom is privacy. Privacy will not be for pirates in the next cycle. So if Zcash is above 47.50, it can go to 53. Now let's just use this as a live TA example. Is 53 a ridiculous price? Well, let's go back to last year. Last year, Zcash peaked out at 84. So if you look at, say, Zcash on a weekly basis, if I can even squeeze the chart onto the screen, where is Zcash? Oh, gee, it's sitting right where the 2020 uptrade started. So Zcash is at COVID levels. And I was like, wow, it's up a lot. Yeah, it's up a lot because it went below COVID levels, or where the COVID rally started from. So when I look at this, am I still into Zcash? Yeah, I'm still into Zcash, right? Somebody's asking, can you check SUSHI? Jazz Gill is happy to catch it Australia time. Yes, we are here at the Strategic Water Reserve for ticker symbol BARC, where we can bring hope to people who don't have water, and you can trade it and invest in it. That is what we're about at Gold Retriever. On this show, we're about giving you the best TA and market analysis possible. And now we're going to talk about SUSHI. Can SUSHI come back? Let's look at a weekly chart of SUSHI. No, actually, let's start with the 4-hour chart. Let's start with the tactical look and see where SUSHI is at. So epic move up, obviously, right? From 90 cents to $1.30. And SUSHI is right now sitting on an important chart point at $1.33. And it looks like the upside target is 155. Okay, I'll label this for the chart so people can see it if they rewatch it later. Bottom line is, all of these altcoins look like this. It's like they're halfway through a crazy up move, like a crazy up move. Okay, what are your thoughts on SWIFT-like systems for CBDCs being proposed from China? This is a question from Lewis. Lewis, great question. Okay, what do we think about anything done by communists? Well, not a big fan. Why do they want to use CBDCs? Because they want to track everything you do. They want to shut you off from your money if you don't comply with what they say. Yeah, I'm sure it makes things very easy to pay. I'm sure it makes it easy to get social welfare, transfer payments from governments, if you ever remember that term. But if you don't do what they say and they don't like you, they can lock you out of your apartment with their social credit score and take all your money. And originally, I didn't think CBDCs were all that bad because they would onboard people into crypto. And then I realized that they were a trap. They're a trap. Anything that the Chinese want to do with crypto, forget about it. I want free people to be able to make decisions for themselves. Okay. Kim Craig is here. Welcome. Okay. Robert Wiley says they also won't let you save money with CBDCs. In other words, they're going to make you spend it all. Interesting. Aiken is saying, do you think another major Russian offensive in the Ukraine is already priced in, or could it create a minor pullback? Okay, that's a good question. So when we go back to the charts, let's talk about what is and what is not priced in. I think geopolitical and Fed fear is fully priced in to stocks. Now, that doesn't mean that equities won't trade in a range, but this Williams oscillator in S&P futures hints that a big move could happen. And I'm actually starting to think the big move in equities is up in the beginning. As far as the Ukraine goes, somewhere in 2023, there's going to be what I call a big bang. Okay, and I'm going to put a linear regression trend up on stocks and tell you what I mean by that. All right. So stocks could conceivably trade inside this linear regression band until March. So, right now it's in the middle, and it may try to stretch it up to 4,200 in the S&P. So stocks are kind of depressed because they're like, there are too many problems, war and the Fed. I think the Ukraine conflict ends this year. The only question is, does it end with a nuclear exchange or something awful happening? Or is the Big Bang something that happens as a shock in Taiwan with China? I think the market climbs the wall of worry that's crypto and equities from the spring all through the summer. And I think that's how you approach it. What is priced in for an offensive this winter? I don't know. An offensive means nothing. The market is deconditioned to anything over there except a tactical nuke. Let's take some other questions. See what else is here. Okay, somebody's asking about Marathon Digital, right? Marathon Digital and all of these crypto stocks. Like, I've got a graphic that shows crypto-based ETFs and how underinvested people are, which includes all the crypto stocks. So if I go to crypto and I'm looking at this, I go to my watch list, right? So, Hut Mining up 3%. Okay, just like put the chart up, like smashing through the regression band. Just unwinding all of last year. And this is a top miner. This is a miner without leverage. Marathon, I think, has a lot of leverage. I don't have that up here. So let me just put Marathon Digital up here. Now, the more people hate it, the higher it's going. That's like the 2023 rule. So Marathon Digital up 10% today. I do have some Fibonacci extension analysis showing that Marathon Digital could go back to where it was in August at 19. And there's nothing stopping it from going there. And currently it's at 9. It's at 9. All of these crypto stocks can do this. All of them. Like, it's funny. The biggest plays in crypto may be in the mining stocks. You could be talking about 1 and 2x gains in things that are connected to Bitcoin. Because after all, look at the chart, right? You're like, oh, God, this is up a lot. I can't buy it. It's up a lot. It was at 68 at the high. Last year in March, it was at 30. Last year in August, when the Celsius debacle was known, was at 18. It's got to double before it gets back to like post Celsius. That's just Marathon Digital. This says nothing about, MicroStrategy. One of my colleagues was like, hey, what about MicroStrategy? I'm like, bro, this thing, there's no resistance. There's no resistance. The resistance is at 382, which was the May 4th sell in May and go away high uptick before the world ended last year. 382. How about it? Currently, it's trading at 250. I'm bullish on these stocks. Come get me. To use old Wall Street lingo. Jeff reminding you to hit the likes. Raj is saying there's no audio. Can you hear me out there? Mel K is saying APPH. That's a stock. Let's pull that up. I'm hoping that there is audio. If there is no audio, please let us know. Be ashamed to be talking to myself live. Okay, App Harvest. Farming with less water. So we talk about BARC, the water token. Okay. This is the water token right here. So this is BARC on a 4-hour chart. Now you're like, Bill, it's down a lot. Yes, it is down a lot. And one of the things that you learn in bull markets is that not everything rallies at the same time. I saw the building today where they're going to put water that comes from Greenland over to the United States to be transferred to drought-stricken regions. APPH is a farming play where they claim that they use way less water than other farming entities. You can see the Williams oscillator getting close to zero, which means a big move is coming. Okay, APPH is currently at $1.74. And if we just look on the chart, let's see. Last year, or in 2021, it was at 8. So this is up only because anybody who can do things with less water is a valuable investment, not investment advice. But I'm watching the way this trades, and I'm assuming and I'm thinking that BARC can follow. All it takes is one day for somebody to pay for water in BARC. In other words, why don't you use a futures exchange? Why don't you just go through the CME and have a water contract over there? Well, who needs the futures exchange? Like, who needs legacy brokerage firms when you can go to Coinbase or Uniswap and trade crypto? What do you need the middlemen for? How about you have the pricing token for water on the blockchain? This way you can buy and sell water. You can invest in water infrastructure, and big players who need to buy water can just pay in BARC tokens. We don't need the CME. We don't need a futures exchange. You don't need a stock exchange. You want to invest in water infrastructure, or water as a commodity? You can do APPH, or you can do BARC, B-A-R-C. BARC requires you to do 2 trades on Uniswap. You got to go from ETH to GLDN and from GLDN to BARC, B-A-R-C. GLDN is kind of like the ETH of our commodities trading universe. So if farming stocks are rallying like this, if Bitcoin mining stocks are rallying like this, don't fight the trend. Meanwhile, BARC, I think, is a value investment. Motley, good evening. Any thoughts on energy plays as Energy Web or Power Ledger? Okay, let me take a look at that. I will definitely look at Energy Web token for future streams, or I can try to pull it up now. Okay, Kelby is asking about AstraDAO introduced by my former employer, Tokenmetrics. Okay, the emphasis is on the former, and you definitely have to ask them about their token. Okay, Rex, RC Rex is saying the UK's got audio. That's great. Appreciate that. Okay, Jeff is also here. Thank you. We got 100 messages in the chat. Thank you, chat. Thank you, chat. Okay. Paco is here. Kelby is here. Steve Mesa. There are real-world forces that want to keep gold prices down, mainly unfriendly governments. Who wins the bull-bear battle? Considering gold mining is not the new innovation. Okay? Gold mining stocks are pretty depressed, but we got a New Year's resolution. We're not doing depressing. We're not. We're going to be honest, but not depressing. Because part of the reasons why people are missing this crypto rally is because it's so easy to get depressed. And we're not doing that. We're not. Now, we're not going to blow sunshine up your ass, but we're going to give you the facts. And the facts are, for example, in gold mining, okay, GDXJ this is junior, smaller gold miners. This is like an accumulation cone. There is resistance here. But I think if GDXJ breaks out, it can keep going because the price of gold is not going down because there's need for an alternative form of money. Like, there are places out there where there's stress, right? Like the Japanese, they've got problems. They are in trouble, right? They're trying to manage their bond market. And I think this makes the case for gold. It also may make the case for GLDN, which is a low cap way to earn Pax Gold tokens. It's also a way to pay for water. You can't get to BARC in water investment unless you go through GLDN. So let's just put the chart up, right? So here's the daily chart of GLDN. This is like Sushi Swap or any of these other things. So from 5 cents to $5 last year, all the way back to 85 cents. Nobody believes in gold miners. And people took GLDN all the way up. They took it all the way back down. And now they want to forget about it. No one's going to forget about gold. No one's going to forget about Bitcoin. No one's going to forget about water. And even though I own this token and I own BARC, right? I work there. That's the point. I work there. I altered the trajectory of my career. And people are asking me, like my family members, my girlfriend's family, they're like, when are you coming over to teach us crypto so we can get involved? And people are like, oh, I missed out in crypto. Oh, I missed it. Well, no, you haven't missed it. 1. 2, if you didn't buy Solana at 9, it's okay, because there are tokens out there that have value propositions that haven't rallied yet. I'll just leave this, they say on Twitter, presented without comment, right? Let's see what else we got going on. Madrid. Oh my God. Dulio is here at 2 a.m. Madrid time. In our minds, let's give Dulio a hand for being here, right? We have Victoria, Canada in the house. Okay. Joan of America says positive energy only. Reality, not depression. We're not doing it this year. Block Connect says, I'm late. I'm going to have to watch the replay. Sir, you're never too late. You're never too early. You're right on time. But we do appreciate you giving us the view, right? We do appreciate that. Kim Craig is asking about Axie Infinity, I believe, AXS. Hey, what's old is new again. Let's check it out. Okay, so big move 2 days ago. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. Let's see what we get on hidden pivot analysis. Okay, so very interesting. So this is an altcoin that strangely got to its target. This is the first altcoin I've seen that got to its target. It went past it and then it went down below it. So here's what I would tell you about this. I'll label this chart AXS. Most likely, we're going to start the rotation game. This is a good way to bring this up. Some altcoins are going to rally, and then you're going to take profits and roll them into different sectors. So Axie Infinity goes from 2 to 12. Nice move. If it can't get back above $12.13, $12.13, then maybe you rotate out and take profits elsewhere. If you've been hodling Axie Infinity, maybe you leave it to see if you can get back above $12. If you can't get back above $12, maybe it's time to move to a different altcoin that might have more upside. There's a lot of resistance here. So just in case you thought I was a total wild cowboy, I'm not. So this is a case where it went to resistance and people sold and it came off. It came off a little. So if it goes back above $12.13, they mean business. If it can't get above $12.13, then maybe there's a better play elsewhere. But if I was hodling this, like if I was stuck with this, it's worth it to see if the old floor, which became the ceiling, can in fact become a floor once again. So you want to be mindful of sector rotation and try to catch the next thing that's going to move. But if you're long AXS, not investment advice, give it some time. Give it some time. Why not? Why not? All right, let's see what else we got going on here. Tim Craig is saying that some exchanges are requiring a lot of money to buy on centralized exchanges. Okay, in relation to privacy, I didn't talk about Monero. Okay, I'm gonna bring up Monero, and I'm actually gonna bring up something that we actually talked about, inside our company, right? We talked about Secret. Okay, so Monero, just to do the hidden pivot work here, got huge puke below 120. So if you look at Monero on a 4-hour chart, if it holds above 173, wow, I wasn't expecting this. If it holds above 173, Monero can wind up at 227. And I was also interested in Secret Network because I'm interested in layer 1 functionality where you don't have to show everyone your business. Privacy is going to matter for the next cycle. Oh, by the way, the next cycle started now. Okay. ICP, like a big favorite of like the crypto YouTuber world. Okay. ICP sitting on support, hidden pivot support at 579 with possible upside to 6.7. So normally when YouTubers like something, you get skeptical. But if these things have value propositions and they have big YouTubers behind it, don't get in the way. Do yourself a favor. And if you're wondering whether or not it's good to get involved or not, or whether it's too late, I don't know, man. ICP was where? Where was it last year? Like in July, the high uptick was 10, and currently it's at 5. Right? Optimism. Okay. Optimism pulls up short of its hidden pivot target at $2.05 and comes back and tests support at $2.03. So this is another favorite on crypto Twitter. A lot of guys I respect are into this. Don't doubt what can happen here. Don't. This can go to 2.5. This can go beyond 2.5. Right? This could be like the Solana of this cycle where it just starts and everyone says, oh, it's too high. And then it just goes and goes and goes. This could happen. It could. FXS. Something else that I'm looking at. I know a lot of smart people are watching. Let's look at this chart. So it goes up. It finds support at 9.7. You get a mild retracement, but notice it's not backing off. Now, if it goes below 9.7, you better think twice. But if it doesn't, it's going to 14. Let's see what else I got in the chat. Aiken is asking, does the current TA set up for an even bigger rally during the summertime? Yes. Let me just give you that to you straight. 2023 is going to be a huge rally in crypto. The only question is, can you get in early enough so you don't get shaken out on any down trades in February or March off either Fed or geopolitical nonsense? So I'm not saying it's going to be a cakewalk. It's not. Matter of fact, the theme I'm trying to get across is get while the getting's good. If things are working out, go with it. If they're not working out, okay, well, then stop out and find another trade. But if things are going your way, keep it going. Okay, seller network. Okay, so we obviously looked at this on a prior stream. Okay, seller network is pretty close to its top to resistance at 0.018. Okay, so it's almost there and it's not quite there. If you drew it this way, Seller network, in fact, did top out at 0.0180. 0.0180, right. This is an example of what altcoins can do. Now, by the way, if Seller goes beyond its recent highs, then you know there's something fundamental going on and it's gone. With altcoins, I'm not afraid to trade out of positions and rotate into something that, say, got a lot more upside. We saw Avalanche today. We saw Monero, right? We looked at GLDN and BARC. So there's still value investing plays out there. There are things like Monero with major themes that have more upside. Okay, let's sum this up. Don't give up on crypto. Don't quit on crypto. Don't quit on this rally. This market can go up a lot higher than anybody thinks before there's a correction. There's nothing wrong with experimenting by saying, if I entered now with a reasonable stop, will the market give me gratification on the upside and then let me hold on to the trade through February and March? I suspect Bitcoin is going to go up a lot short term, like 25 or 29K, and then altcoins are going to be able to run after February. Right? You may have to deal with just 30 days of or ranging, but you don't want to miss the big trend moves. And right now we're in the middle of a big trend move. So folks, we appreciate you dialing in. We appreciate your viewership. This is Bill Noble. I will see you tomorrow.